Hello, planet Earth. I thought we were going to be dressed for success today because we're talking about Wolfram Hart, but I see you decided not to be. Trendsetter. Neat. Alright everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're at IDK, my BFF Jill, 730. I'm Personnel Young, wishing you warm salutations and congratulations because you've made your way to the Buffington Post. Today we're doing another Buffyverse discussion, and you can leave your Buffy bag at home. Because we're at Wolfram Hart now, kids. You will need the following things. Red Bull will be working a lot of hours. Legal pads. Take notes, kids. You're at Wolfram Hart now. Bulletin board for all of your notes. A pen filled with your own blood. And some ice for your heart. Hopefully with enough time and practice, you will be able to bring in lukewarm Red Bulls, which you will then be able to cool with your cold, cold heart. Because today we're talking about the ballas and the shot callers who are really running this whole damn situation. Wolfram Hart and the senior partners. So, back at the dawn of time, before tzatziki, before tacos, before Mary-Kate and Ashley, there were the wolf and the ram and the hart. The wolf, the ram, and the hart are very ancient demons, and they're not old ones, they're not the original demons, but they are like super ancient. And Illyria, the only really old one that we've met and dealt with for a good long while, says that they weren't shit back in her day. And so the wolf, the ram, and the hart worked their way up through prehistory and through history. The funny thing about it is they work with the law. Like, they work with words and they work with what you can get away with and what the ramifications are for breaking the law. And they are in the business of building and using law in order to keep evil going and flourishing. Wolfram Hart was there in one form or another always. That when the first caveman clubbed his neighbor, they were there. And so the idea of the wolf, the ram, and the hart is basically corruption through normalization. The more you make something normal, the more acceptable it is, the easier it is to not notice that it's evil. And so they basically are this. They are evil incorporated, and they don't exist on our plane of existence in the way that we would think about it. Like, they're not physically present in our dimension anymore. They are kind of on a different plane. And they do have forces here, however. They have a hand that works for them that is called the Circle of the Black Thorn, that we basically meet way in the last 2 episodes of the series, because they got canceled and they had a flash poof, this whole Illuminati type situation wherein the political and magical and just all kind of evil forces in the world kind of work together to keep the gears in motion for evil incorporated. And so now Wolfram Hart, like I said, they don't actually exist on our plane, but they do have various forms of manifesting themselves as far as their motivations. Like, they do have the law offices of Wolfram Hart. So Wolfram Hart basically starts antagonizing Angel from the very beginning. We see them in the very first episode of Angel. That's when we meet Lindsay. And along the way we meet Lila and we meet Gavin Parker. We also meet Holland Manners, who is kind of like the head honcho for a good long while. And Holland Manners actually introduces us to this the home office. Angel finds out that one of the senior partners is visiting from the home office, and it's needing to manifest as this really super powerful demon in order to kind of express all of its power on our plane. And so whatever, it comes, some stuff happens, and at this point, like, Holland has died, and we also learn through Holland that its employees, the lawyers at Wolfram Hart, their contracts actually extend beyond death. And so once you sell your soul to the devil, it really, like, you've sold your soul for good. Wolfram Hart owns you. And so Wolfram Hart, like I said, they have this like home office that the guy was coming from. So Angel tries to get to the home office, and sure enough, here's Holland dead, but not dead, technically revivified. Anyway, so he takes Angel on this like magical elevator ride to the home office, and when it comes out, we find out what the home office looks like. A howling, epileptic, seizure-inducing abyss is not what the home office is. The home office is our home. The home office is our plane of existence. The home office is home, our home. And the senior partners have their apocalypse that they've got going. And the thing about Wolfram Hart is they are invested in this apocalypse. And by that I mean they are like long-term invested. Like, their apocalypse is cooking in the crock pot kind of apocalypse. Like, they're taking their sweet time with their apocalypse, okay? And their apocalypse is going to be like the apocalypse. You feel me? Like, they're, like I said, they've been brewing theirs since the dawn of time. But whereas most of the villains in the Buffyverse are like, let's kill the world now, the senior partners are a bit smarter than that. Yes, you can destroy it. Destroy it by all means. And they are like actively destroying it little by little. But it's the world around you. You'd never know it because it's like corporatized evil. And so it's sucking the soul and the life out of the world, but little by little, because why destroy something when you can bleed it for all it's worth and make money off of it? And when money doesn't even mean anything because you're just this crazy powerful demon, it just then is about evil, making people believe that they need all of this money and power. And here you are giving it to them and making them believe that they're getting somewhere, but you're making sure that they never will, and making this person part of the problem completely unwittingly. And that's what Wolfram Hart is all about. They're about the long con. They've got the longest con ever. And Angel, we find out, is destined to play a major role in the apocalypse, like the apocalypse. And so Wolfram Hart is saying, hey, that's our apocalypse. We need to get him on our side, because the Shanshu prophecy is unclear as to which side of this whole thing Angel's going to be on. And so basically we go through the entire span of Angel trying to figure out more and more about senior partners. And it's not until we get into season 2 that we actually know that they are these demons called the Wolf, the Ram, and the Hart, because in Philea, Wesley had found these books that were kind of like about these ancient demons that existed in a multitude of dimensions. And see, that's the thing. The senior partners aren't just in our world. They're not just paying attention to our world. Wolfram Hart is an international corporation. They have offices in every major city in the world. And they also have offices in like a dozen other dimensions. You feel me? So they're everywhere. And they are basically the biggest bad. If you think about the way that the mayor in season 3, we found out that he had sold his soul to the forces of Hellmouth, and he was like getting this big payday off of it, but his big payday was he was going to become demon. That's like backyard, small town evil. Whereas the evil that Wolfram Hart represents is like big city evil, and it's got a bigger picture in mind, just like Angel as a series has a bigger picture in mind. And so in season 3, they do all of this crazy cray trying to get Angel's baby, and we actually meet this lady who is Files and Records, and she's got all of Wolfram Hart's files and records in her head, and it's Flo from the Progressive commercials. Hey, bet you didn't notice that one. So yeah, and we deal with all these different demons, and we see a little bit more of the inner workings of Wolfram Hart, but we don't learn a whole lot about the senior partners. And the senior partners, we actually never see what they look like. We know that one of them goes by the name Mr. Savuto. We know that from Lila. And then that's pretty much all we really know about them, definitely. Like I said, we know that they were like lower than the old ones, but a little bit higher than the vampires back in their heyday when they were like physical and things like this. But for the most part, the senior partners are this great big mystery. However, we do know that they use a conduit, a superpowered being of different kinds. There have been several different conduits, but they appear through this like white room, and it's literally this white room. And they need some kind of like super duper powerful thing to speak for them because they are so powerful. And it's taken on several different forms. The last form that it's taken on is this like owl on a stick. And before that, it was this like changing, shape-shifting thing. And before that, it was this like ancient Egyptian totem called Ma'at. And yeah, they need like these really powerful beings to speak for them because they are like beyond our comprehension. They obviously deal a lot in prophecy because, like I said, they're trying to make a buck, and they want to make sure that all the prophecies work out in their favor. They want to make sure that everything happens on their terms so that their apocalypse can keep going. Because that's the important thing to remember. Their apocalypse is trucking all the time. Like when you go to sleep, their apocalypse is still going on. When you've saved the world, their apocalypse is still going on in the background. You just never notice it because it's the way that they have fashioned this world. Wolfram Hart and the senior partners are literally in control, and that's the very scary thing. Now, Buffy actually kind of put the brakes on Wolfram Hart. We don't know to what extent the ramifications of Buffy destroying magic actually did stop Wolfram Hart and the senior partners' plans for our plane of existence, but I have to say she must have stopped them a little bit. We know that they were using Tin Can, this interdimensional technological social networking platform that was actually, like I said, a technological way to connect our dimension to another. But Buffy and Kennedy shut that down so that Wolfram Hart couldn't use it. But now that magic is back up and running, I would imagine that they are in fact out there. Now, Wolfram Hart, like I said, they have lots of power and influence over our world. They can sway anybody, and they do like get Angel in the end. They basically give him exactly what he wants, which is this great new life for Connor, but in the end, that ends up getting taken away. So, hello, look at the way Wolfram Hart always gets what they want, pretty much. But not always, because Angel does like totally like stick them in the rear with their own plans. Anyway, but now that there are these new rules of magic that are working out now, I imagine that we will see some semblance of the senior partners somewhere in the Buffyverse pretty soon, because they can't just not be at work. And honestly, I think that Wolfram Hart and the senior partners and the whole idea behind it is actually one of the most fascinating things about the Buffyverse. This notion of evil kind of slowly but surely just taking over everything. It's pretty real, right? Wolfram Hart would be a great platform because in 20 to 30 years, I think we can expect to see that they will have Buffy like remade on TV. probably, if not in 20 or 30, definitely like in 50 years. Everything gets recycled. And I think a really neat way to do that and make it fresh and make it something interesting, but still keep it within the Buffyverse, would be to introduce Buffy at a bit of an older age and have her kind of like in Harmony's situation in season 5. Have her find out that she's a Slayer as she's kind of starting this temp job at Wolfram Hart, and then kind of uncovering the layers of Wolfram Hart and going from there. And so, just like high school, you would have this kind of like workplace dramedy, and you could kind of focus on that, and you wouldn't have to worry about necessarily leaving that place until you wanted to, because there's plenty of richness there. And as a TV way of thinking about it, I think it would work. But God knows what television will even look like in 30 years. Whoa. But anyway, that's pretty much all you need to know about the senior partners for now. I'm going to be talking more about them when I get to Angel after the fall. But like I said, I hope you enjoyed this Buffyverse discussion. I actually did another take of this where I went on and on about all the goings on throughout the whole seasons and giving you all the details, but really, who cares? The senior partners are so beyond details, even though they deal in them. They're big picture kind of kids. So, like, comment, share, subscribe, dislike, and as always, question. I'm Preston L. Young. You can find me on Facebook. I'm Preston L. Young. You can find me on Twitter at @ThePWitty. And you can always come right back here to the Buffington Post, because I've got Buffyverse discussions, I've got Buffy the Vampire Slayer comic reviews, Angel and Faith comic reviews, and some other stuff is coming soon. So, have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.